All aboard! All aboard! Ah, well, hello there. So, you're getting on this train, huh? You know, I've been conducting this train for a good couple of years now. Been through a lot with her. I remember the "I got nothing up my butt" incident back in 2019. There was also the Floirda man who threw a Bible at a police officer. Oh, and don't get me started about the year 2020. Oh, boy. So listen, if you're new here, I gotta read this this piece of paper for you. It's sort of a legal thing, you know. Here we go. Warning. The following show may feature some adult language and adult scenarios that are not suitable for those under the age of 18 to 21 years old. If you are under this age, please consult your parents and or legal guardians for permission to listen to this show. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Well, with that out of the way, will you still be getting on? Excellent. Well, let me just punch your ticket for you. And welcome to Trademark's Trainwreck. Good evening, passengers, and welcome to tonight's episode of Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestial Radio, all fandom, all the time.
Wanga.
With me here tonight is Random Greymane.
All I got is that powdered stuff. I hate that stuff.
Sherlock.
Yeah, not even gonna touch that.
And TheFangirl.
I don't even want to know.
It's been a couple weeks since the last time I broadcasted, and that is because, for those of you who didn't catch the YouTube video, the Twitter announcement, and the live broadcast on CelestialRadio.com, where all of our episodes debut every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in spite of all my best efforts, I got the COVID. Yay.
I'm clean!
I know YouTube's gonna have a conniption fit for me talking about this, but I don't monetize my videos at the time of this recording anyway, so suck it, YouTube. I'm gonna talk about it because this is educational. I'm gonna tell all these people about how much it sucks to get the virus, even when you're fully vaccinated, which, for reference sake, I am not at the time of this recording. I really should have gone sooner because that would have allowed me to avoid all the bullshit that I got.
However, we know for a fact that Trade Mom was vaccinated and she got a cold. And was fine.
She more or less got watered down symptoms of the COVID-19 virus. But what I got
was considerably more.
Let me briefly run down what happened to me. So,
yes, tell us the symptoms.
Well, the symptoms come with the story of the entire scenario. First and foremost, I got the news about my mother having the virus from a undisclosed source. And the day after, I went to work, and I felt weak. I felt tired. I felt slow. I felt a little warm. I thought it was all psychosomatic. So for half of the day, I was like, okay, I'm going to press on. No, I'm not. This shit is unbearable. I can't focus on my work. I gotta go. And I let my manager know in advance what might have happened, so no backlash on that front. They understood what was happening. And so later that day I got a test, it came up negative, and then a couple of days later I went up for a second test and it came up positive. And that was when the fun began. First of all, I was fully expecting getting positive, so I didn't react negatively. I was just like, yep, I knew it was coming. But that particular day, I just went to bed. I went to bed. I wasn't exactly tired, but I was coughing. Like, that's the start. The coughing is the start. A few days later, afterwards, I started developing fevers and shivers. So I would be wrapped up in a blanket in my office chair where I record from, if not lying in bed. After that, my appetite left me. My appetite, okay? You know, that is the worst part. That is the worst fucking part of my particular ordeal with this virus. You have any idea how horrible it is to be hungry and yet absolutely despise the concept of food? It's fucking awful, man. Like, you can't eat, but you have to eat to survive. It's such a first world fucking problem for me to say, I didn't want to eat, even though I was hungry. It's such a first world fucking problem, but it's what happened to me.
He didn't even want his avocado toast.
Like, nothing worse for me. And all I could do was lie in bed and hydrate and take my pills. Because I had to take, NyQuil, Dayquil and NyQuil, if I so chose NyQuil to sleep. Zinc, vitamin C, elderberry immunity shit, and another thing that I completely forget. Just to make sure that my body was actually fucking functioning. And then came the breathing. I didn't have breathing difficulties. I got as much oxygen as I needed. But at one point, if I breathed in deep enough, my lungs was just like, that feels uncomfortable, stop that shit. Probably because whatever was attacking my body, the virus, was fucking up with my lungs a little bit. Thankfully, I didn't need to go to the hospital for a fucking respirator. But eventually, everything just kind of faded away and I returned to normal, but God almighty, that whole entire scenario was like fucking Groundhog's Day with Bill Murray. That movie where he just wakes up every day to the same exact shit. Just every day it was wake up, do something to entertain myself, go to bed, repeat. And most of the time that middle part didn't even happen because I just laid in bed like fuck it. Today is a not moving day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you did go to work.
Well, I did. Not during that whole rigmarole.
I meant today.
Today I did, because recently I have been, I've tested it again, because that's what I did in the latter half of this whole ordeal. I tested negative. So now I am back on the front, as it were, and I no longer have any symptoms. My cough is completely gone. My appetite's back. Everything's back to normal. And let me tell you, if anyone out there in the world still denies that this fucking virus is a thing, or denies that it's anything beyond a cold, you're a fucking liar. You're in perpetual fucking self-denial.
Just like with with any disease that you get a vaccine for, the flu, mumps, any other disease that there are vaccines available for. There are two sides of this coin, and everybody's body is different. Yes, Trade got very lucky because he is a naturally healthy person anyway. So even though it was a really bad time, he managed to get through without getting some of the more nightmarish pieces of this disease. Other people out there, though, a lot of other people, both healthy and immune compromised, have endured such severe shortness of breath they have to go to the hospital. Some people, well, even healthy people, have died from this disease.
Yes.
Again, everyone's bodies are different. The
Yeah,
only
and-
thing that has been concrete has been that people who have been immunized, who have received the vaccine, either got hardly any symptom, who then caught COVID anyway, either showed no symptoms, carried the disease, and then were fine, or had mild cold or flu-like symptoms and then were fine, or as Trade described his mom, had very watered down variant of the COVID virus and then was fine.
And I do want to correct one thing, and sorry to get slightly political, but yeah, there are going to be people across the board that say, I don't want to get the vaccines, because there are always going to be anti-vaxxers. But no vaccine has gone through this much politicization, polarizing politicalization, or however you want to pronounce it. This is serious, folks. This shit can kill you. I don't care what fucker Carlson says on Fox faux news. I don't care what Hannity. I don't care what any Republican politician says. Get yourself fucking vaccinated.
Yes, I
I
will
will
be.
also
Hmm?
I will also point out here that all those previous diseases that Fanny mentioned in passing, okay, smallpox, polio, okay, the mumps, none of those were eradicated due to herd immunity. Okay, every single one of those was eradicated because of vaccination. Okay,
Exactly.
every single one of them. And, oh, well, the herd immunity will protect me. No, it fucking won't. Get your fucking vaccine.
Herd
Yeah.
immunity only happens when enough people are vaccinated against such things that the people who can't get vaccinated, such as babies and people who are allergic to the preservation bits that might be inside of most vaccines, can't get them.
Or, poor people who suffer from immunodeficiency diseases like leukemia. You
Right.
can't even get a
sick.
vaccine of the thing you're trying to fight because your body would shut fucking down.
Right.
That's so that's what herd immunity is for, people. Not for you, for them.
And that's why a lot of diseases that had almost been eradicated, like measles and other similar diseases, have been on the rise again. They are coming back because people won't get vaccines. So
Yeah.
yes, if you want to get rid of COVID, if you want to get rid of these other diseases, you've got to all get vaccinated.
Especially all of you fuckers down here with me in Florida. Florida is the number one. I want to repeat that. The number one leading state in the United States of America that has the most COVID cases right now. We are on the fucking rebound because all of you fuckers are like, I don't want to take the vaccine. Listen, I get it. The reason I didn't get the vaccine is because I'm a pussy. Okay? I have a fear of needles. But after going through all of that bullshit, I'll take the needle. I'll take 2. I'll take 5.
When you're not immune to it, again, due to the antibodies created from the disease itself, yes, definitely go get the shot.
Well,
I
actually,
will say how
that you're not immune from the once
No,
you catch
you're
COVID, you
not.
can catch it again.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to have the vaccine to become immune to it.
Yes.
All right then. Thank you for clearing that up. But even so, yeah, go get the vaccine at your earliest convenience. But I will say this. Do your research on each vaccine. Each one is different. If you are a woman and between the ages of 20 and 50 and you have a higher risk of blood clotting or similar issues like that, you might want to steer clear of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It's still a good vaccine and a lot of women have gotten it and some I know very well have gotten it, and it is one shot. But if you are worried about that kind of thing, and that's especially important if you are on birth control, nursing, and other stuff like that, or have a family history like I do of blood clots, then please avoid that one. And look into the others. I will say this: Moderna is a good shot. That's the one I got. But I also had the severe allergic reaction to it. I caught COVID arm when I got my shot in both arms. It wasn't pleasant, but I am now vaccinated. I'm still happy I got the vaccine. I just now wish I had done a different one. That being said, a lot of people have said Pfizer is the best version of the vaccine because there are very few side effects, but it still has side effects. And there are some people who experience the COVID arm situation from Pfizer. So just look into each vaccine, look into what's available in your area, what's covered by your insurance if you have health insurance.
Yeah.
Do so wisely and do so carefully, but get the vaccine.
Yeah, and if somebody's trying to charge you for this vaccine, tell them to go pound sand and report them to the health department. Okay,
Well,
because
it's
this is
technically
supposed
free.
to be a free vaccine. So you shouldn't have to check with your insurance. You shouldn't have to do anything except set up an appointment, for the first shot and the second shot, unless it's a JJ.
In any case,
Exactly.
I will wrap up this beginning discussion of the night by saying, as soon as I'm in the clear regarding, my symptoms, because you need some time to recover from your symptoms before getting the vaccine. As soon as I'm in the clear, I will get whatever vaccine I desire. Maybe the Pfizer, the Pfizer double dose. In any case, I'm back to normal, but that's more than I can say about the people that we're going to be discussing tonight, because yes, for those who have forgotten somehow, Trademark's Trainwreck is a dumb news podcast that goes over all of the dumb internet news that I uncover over the course of a week or so. In this case, a little bit more than a week because I had some time off. So some of the articles tonight are going to be a little bit old, but most of them are probably going to be newer. In any case, I think that's a good time to go on our first music break for tonight. So, we'll be right back with Trademark's Trainwreck on Celestia Radio, all Phantom all the time. Except when it's get your fucking vaccine, people.
Man, that was my favorite gun.
Welcome back, passengers, to Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestia Radio, all Phantom all the time. It's time to start with the softcore material. Got a bit of an older article here for you, but it's a classic. The case of the phony 911 call.
Oh, jeez.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
Is it more egg rolls?
No, I don't think so. Let's take a look. This is an incident from Ohio from July 9th, 2021. After getting pulled over outside a Walmart in suburban Cleveland, a motorist sought to, quote, deter officers from the traffic stop, end quote, by calling 911 to falsely report a shooting a few blocks down from the retailer. Yeah.
That doesn't work.
No. According to investigators, Mohammed Kabir, 34, I don't know where I got 31 from. He was driving Saturday afternoon when his vehicle was pulled over by a South Euclid Police Department officer outside a Walmart supercenter. Kabir, who lives in a nearby Cleveland Heights, was behind the wheel despite having a suspended driver's license and a vehicle with expired plates. Additionally, a 2-year-old boy who was with his mother in the car was not in a child safety seat. So you're just a double-decker bus of problems.
Yeah.
In a misguided effort to avoid a series of traffic citations, Kabir, quote, called in a fake 911 call of a male being shot on a street near Walmart. The gambit was intended to deter officers from the traffic stop. Instead, a police dispatcher, quote, was able to ping the caller of the 911 call back to Walmart, and the phone number of the 911 caller matched the male that was on the traffic stop, because they get your information like that when they pull you over, buddy.
Can't outrun the speed of radio, guys.
Or internet. Kabir was then arrested for making false alarms. Because, yeah, that's a bigger crime than traffic violations. He was arraigned...
Unfortunately, white folk aren't usually arrested for it.
This is also correct.
Unfortunately. He was arraigned Tuesday in South Euclid Municipal Court on the misdemeanor count. Kabir has also been charged with multiple traffic law violations. Do we need to say it at this point?
No.
Don't fucking make fake calls to get your way.
Don't, like, this is the classic. This is like, what? This
Now,
is
see,
the Karen.
the-
This is the Karens.
No.
No,
The
not
Karen
really.
thing is a completely different pandemic. This guy was just trying to see that if he reported a worse crime just a little ways down the way, then dispatch would send these guys out to go take care of it, and he would just be able to drive away.
Even so, like,
that
this
might
is-
have worked back in the 80s.
Yeah, because
like,
here's...
people. Why?
Go on, Fanny, go on.
Like, it's just like, why do people do this? Why do people try to think that they can outsmart the fucking police? You can't outsmart the police.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
I argue that you can if you know the law well enough.
Not.
But we're not going to tell them how to do that.
No.
No.
When it comes to shit like this, if you
Oh,
think you
this
can
one's really easy.
if
No.
you think you can, like, no, don't call in a false report. Doesn't matter what it's for. It doesn't matter if you're trying to call in a false report, because you want to distract the cops from from what you're actually doing. Doesn't matter if you want to call the cops to complain about someone not giving you your correct change. Doesn't matter if you want to call the cops because you can't find your weed
Yeah.
in a state where it's illegal to have weed or some other kind of drug. Don't make a false or shit-ass call to the police unless either someone's trying to stab you, shoot you, kick your ass, or unless you've got your arm lopped off.
Yeah. Like, here's a story from dumb young Trademark back way before I knew any of you guys. Young dumb Trademark, for some reason, was over at Grandma's house, and for some reason, I cannot remember why. I think young Trademark was in a situation that he did not like, even though it was probably like something completely fucking trivial. And he called 911, or that is to say, I called 911. And I didn't talk to anybody, I just boop, 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 hang up that phone, clunk. And here's the thing. Police don't just ignore that shit. Police don't ignore that shit even if you've never connected with the operator. Because from what I remember being told by my grandmother, the police actually came by later that night.
You
Yes.
accidentally swatted your grandma?
Yes!
What the fuck, Trade?
Here's
I
the
don't
thing,
know! Young Trademark was a fucking brat back in the day.
Here's the thing. You're not the only child to ever do that.
No, of course not,
Or,
but still,
like,
it's
here's-
awful.
No, this is a wonderful story I got for you. Back a few years ago, when the fangirl was not working at the wonderful world of Rent World, but was in fact working at Happy Sunshine Daycare, shall we say.
Oh, joy.
One of the songs the kids love to learn, especially when we were talking about our community helpers in a week where we were talking about people who help our community, we were discussing firefighters and police officers. And one of the songs we would teach the kids is 911, 911. When in an emergency, call 911. And the kids loved that song. It had a really catchy tune. And we also had it played it on a tablet so the kids could watch the video that went with it. And it was a great time until one morning, a pair of twins who were in our class waltzed themselves right in, all happy-go-lucky, and the parents were like, "Did you teach our kids to call 911?" We're like, "Well, it's part of a song we teach them about community helpers and what to do in an emergency, and it says in the song, in an emergency, call 911." And the mom of the twins said, "Last night they called 911. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, they just wanted to talk to the person on the other end and sing the song at them.
Oh.
to explain to them that there wasn't an actual emergency. It was very embarrassing. We're like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry about that. I hope, please don't be too mad. We really meant no harm. They're like, yeah, I know, but still, I just want to let you know that can happen. Make sure to teach the kids not to do that. And so, we spent a good.
Excuse me.
We spent a good 10 minutes in class that morning telling the kids, all right, everybody, when we sing our song 911, we mean to do that only if something bad's happening, like if some bad person's trying to hurt your mommy and dad or daddy or you, or if your house is on fire or something like that. You know, when you call 911 just to talk to the police for fun, they don't really like that too much.
It always bugs me so much when parents come up to the daycare center folk and they're trying to teach kids good, life skills, and then they say, "Well, you need to teach them this," and I'm like, "Excuse me." So many times I just want to go up to these people and be like, "Excuse me, bitch, you need to teach your kid this, okay? You're the parent."
Even so, it was a good point. And to keep peace, we went ahead and told the kids, only call 911 if it's an actual emergency and something scary and bad is happening, not when you just want to say, hi, Mr. Policeman, how are you doing today?
The point being, whether you're a kid or an adult, don't make a false 911 call. It's a pain in the ass for everyone involved.
Exactly. It's a pain in the ass. Only make the call if it's actually important. Again, if someone's got a gun in your face, a knife in your gut, or your arm's locked off, or your house is on fire.
Those specific things, nothing else.
Yes.
Although I will also add, I have called the police before myself, but I thought it was a legitimate reason. Turned out it was nothing. But in that situation, it's okay. If you think someone's breaking into your house, but it's actually just a tree branch fell down really, really close to your fence, it's a better safe than sorry situation. Not this. This isn't better safe than sorry. This is, you are a fucking moron.
Yeah.
The worst thing I get is that before I got my job working for the courthouse, I used to be a security officer, a patrol officer. The worst I would get is I would get calls from people who were living in the apartments that my company would be watching. We watched a lot. And we would say, I would get this call of I think somebody's breaking into my apartment. Then call the police! Aren't you going to do anything? I'm a security guard. You think I'm armed?
You have a walkie-talkie and a cell phone. That's it.
Yeah. You're about as well armed as a fucking FNAF security guard. A Five Nights at Freddy's security guard.
Somebody called and said, I think there's a domestic situation going on in the apartment above me. Call the police.
Yes.
It's but don't you guys handle this? We handle noise disturbances. Well, this is noise disturbance. Yeah, but you said it's possibly a domestic disturbance. Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, I'm not getting involved in that.
Yeah, we're not domestic.
It's actually company policy. Company policy straight says, do not get yourself in the middle of a domestic situation. Call the police.
Call the police.
Only if it's absolutely necessary. Don't call just to be a dick.
Moving right along.
Moving on.
What could be dumber than a person calling 911 in an attempt to get out of traffic violations? Well, I've got something for you. July 16th, 2021, suspect made Dopey Google search.
What?
Here's the context. While in custody and declining to take field sobriety tests, an Iowa motorcyclist suspected of drug driving Googled how long meth stays in your system after initial consumption.
Whoops.
All right. Just a little bit of context here. We all have browsing history.
Yes.
That we don't want people to know about.
No.
For various reasons. Some people look up interesting websites, shall we say, for personal pleasure. Some people look up interesting and sometimes odd websites for research.
And some of us are writers. And you don't want to look at your. You don't
And
want
some
to look
of
at our
us,
search history.
and some of us skip the creepy websites and go to DeviantArt, because that's where all the creepy people congregate.
Again.
But for real, some of us are writers.
Yes.
and we have to research things, even things that most people don't want to research.
Mm-hmm.
We have browser histories that are flagged. I know for a fact the FBI is watching me, but I also know for a fact I am squeaky motherfucking clean.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't change the fact that I don't want anyone to know my goddamn browser history. And that's in the safety and sanctity of my own home, of my personal cell phone, and my tablet, all of which I have VPNs on.
Yep.
This guy did this where? In a jail?
Not a jail. Let me get the rest of the context out for you.
Tell us.
Let's meet Robert Perez, 53, who, according to police, was riding a stolen Kawasaki motorcycle when pulled over in Iowa City. Perez, cops allege, was, quote, making nonsensical actions, end quote, while driving the motorcycle, which was listed as stolen in a law enforcement database. When questioned by an Iowa City Police Department officer, Perez, quote, claimed a fellow meth user loaned him the vehicle. Perez, however...
Well, that story just, completely...
That story backfired because he couldn't provide a name or address for the owner. Perez, who reportedly admitted injecting meth 5 hours earlier, quote, had multiple syringe caps in his pockets, police noted. Though he agreed to take a breath test, which detected a .00 blood alcohol content, because duh, Perez refused all field sobriety tests. While at the police station, there it is, and apparently still in possession of his phone, there it is, Perez was witnessed by another officer Googling how long meth stays in your system after initial consumption.
Again, he did this not in a private space, not in his own home. He did this on an item that could be confiscated in the middle of the fucking police station.
Yep.
No, sir, no.
Well, to be honest,
thing he could have done was if he'd had access to a cop's computer for some reason.
Well, to be honest, this is also kind of on the police too. If they were detaining him or taking him into custody on suspicion of stolen property, then they should have confiscated his phone.
Yeah, why are they? Yeah, why is he still
have his phone?
Why isn't he shackled?
Why does this guy have his phone still? Why does he have any device that could potentially be broken and used as a weapon on his person? Why didn't they take this? Why didn't they take it and throw it in a drawer somewhere to hold as evidence until later? Like, cops, you should know better. You should know better. Clearly you don't in this case.
Now,
this guy is still doubly fucking stupid that he has his cell phone. He could call for an attorney to help get his ass out of here and avoid fucking trouble. What's he do? How long does meth stay in your system?
To answer that question really quickly, the half-life of meth is 12 to 34 hours and 2 to 10 days to leave the body completely. So there you go.
We didn't want to know that.
We didn't want to know that, but thank you. Well, investigators subsequently secured a search warrant to draw blood from Perez. That sample has been sent to the crime lab for testing. Perez, who has 2 prior operating while intoxicated convictions, he was charged with theft, driving under the influence, and driving with a suspended license. He was booked into the Johnson County Jail, from which he was released at 9 a.m. on July 16th. 2021.
What state was this again?
This was Iowa. Yeah.
If that man had been in Georgia, this would be strike 3. He'd be in prison for life.
It's just.
Thank you, President Clinton.
Oh man, just of all the things to fucking do, of all the things. Moron. Well, I got one more in the softcore material, though this one leans more towards the hardcore material. I will say this involves a little bit of Unfortunately, this case does involve a little bit of animal abuse.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I could not resist this because this is peak. This is peak Florida man. And I will preface this by saying there is no indication as to what the status of the animal in question is. There is nothing about the animal being euthanized after the incident. I'm going to assume that the animal is being taken care of in whatever way, whatever professional is looking over this creature is seeing fit. But let's take a look at the story regardless. Once again, if you are squeamish toward this subject, I would request that you maybe skip to the hardcore material, which is quite a fucking oxymoron if I do say so myself. July 15th, 2021. Florida man, 32, nabbed after cops spot him swinging and stomping stolen alligator at 3:20 a.m.
Yeah, this is peak Florida, man. Good God.
Yeah.
Swinging and stomping. Okay.
Swinging and stomping. Even by Florida's loose standards, a guy swinging a stolen alligator by its tail at 3:20 a.m. in an attempt at teaching it a lesson is truly bizarre. I want you to have that fucking visual in my head and understand that visual is why I could not skip this.
You a lesson.
I'm gonna teach this boy a lesson, yeah.
I'm gonna teach this scaly boy a lesson. According to police, William Hodge, a 32-year-old fisherman, was arrested early that day after officers spotted him trying to fling the purloined alligator atop a building in Daytona Beach shores.
Fling an alligator. Think about that for a minute. Fling.
Yeah, again,
okay.
visual image.
Shouldn't it be flung?
I don't know.
No, fling is correct.
Yeah, fling's the correct grammar for that particular sentence. When Hodge's attempt to launch the alligator failed, Hodge slammed the reptile to the ground and stomped on it. When cops approached Hodge, he, quote, raised his hands up as if he were giving up and was taken into custody. Asked what he was doing when throwing the alligator in the air, Hodge reportedly replied that he was, quote, teaching it a lesson. Investigators say Hodge removed the alligator from an enclosure at Congo River Golf and Exploration, a miniature golf course that offers patrons the opportunity to feed and hold alligators. So these aren't like massive fucking alligators. These are like
little teenage alligators. Little
3 to 4 foot at most. I don't know.
Man.
I don't personally. I wouldn't let my kids hold an alligator, 3 foot or no, because those little guys, they have really sharp teeth and they can still roll.
They can. The court affidavit does not specify the size and weight of the alligator Hodge is alleged to have swiped. The alligator was subsequently turned over to Congo River's general manager, who valued the stolen goods at $300. Hodge was charged with animal cruelty, possession and injury of an alligator, unarmed burglary, theft, and criminal mischief. He is being held in the Volusia County Jail in lieu of $4,500 bond.
Yeah, that alligator should get a free shot at his balls.
Yeah. I really do hope that alligator is being taken care of. I'm
sure it is.
If it has to be euthanized for whatever damages they can't repair, then it's sad, but that's what needs to be done. It's just what in the world? What in the world led to this?
Yeah, I'll say it this time. This is another case of how did we get here?
Yes.
Okay, because it's like it's a petting alligator. It's not even a full-sized alligator.
This is an alligator that you bump into on a fucking mini golf course. Mini golf, not even full-fledged golf. Mini golf.
But my big question is, how did he get it out of the little zoo, the little petting zoo?
Oh.
I can only assume that there is an open area that can be more easily accessed than if he were at, say, Gator World in Florida here, where they
I'm thinking he opened a cage or something. Given it's a mini golf course. Okay, it's not high security.
No, it's
So
not.
yeah, so there's bound to be some sort of thing that he could have opened the cage room, or when somebody wasn't looking,
Oh.
the thing was in a pen or something like that. Who knows?
Here we go. I actually have the police report right here, and it actually goes into a little bit of detail as to how this happened. It should be noted Congo River Golf sits directly off of South Atlantic Avenue. The alligator enclosure is in front of the business right beside the sidewalk. In order to enter the alligator enclosure, one would have to jump the wood and rope fencing that surrounds the enclosure and jump down into the enclosure. That is a direct quote from the report.
Okay, so it's easy enough to get into if you have a mind to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, we actually have some bonus content here. While in the holding cell, William Hodge began intentionally flooding the jail cell by balling up the toilet paper and clogging the toilet bowl and drain on the floor. William Hodge also began throwing wet toilet paper around the jail cell. When confronted, he advised that he would flood the whole place.
What the fuck?
This guy has issues beyond, I'm teaching the alligator a lesson. Alligator stole my wife. Some shit like that. This guy's not with us anymore. This guy is out there. This guy has impulse control issues that have been spurred by something.
Remember where we are.
Yeah, we're in Florida.
There's something wrong with that state, with your state, Trade.
Oh yeah, like without a fucking doubt. Let's see, what else? I'm looking at the police report again, and nothing else. Nothing else of immediate interest. Just, what else can we say but Florida man?
I'm gonna flood the whole place.
That'll teach them. That'll teach them gators. They haven't seen the last of me.
Excuse me. While I go behind this wall and turn off this valve. Yeah, now you don't have anywhere to shit.
Jesus. Well, that's the end of the quote-unquote softcore article for tonight. We're going to go on our second music break, and we're going to head into the hardcore material. So, you just sit tight, audience, and we'll be right back with Trademark's Trainwreck on Celestia Radio, all Phantom all the time. Except when it's just...
Teaching it a lesson.
Teaching it a lesson. Yep, that'll do.
I wonder if I can change brands of neurotransmitters.
Well, while you ponder that, welcome back, passengers, to Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestia Radio, all Phantom all the time. It's time to start the hardcore material, and we got a couple of sequels for you this week. One that I thought I would never have to report on ever again. But
it's not Gorilla Glue.
No. It's not Gorilla Glue. Okay. Thank the Lord. If I had to report on Gorilla Glue, if I had to report on a third Gorilla Glue incident, I would retire this show. I would just be like, fuck it. There's no...
Humanity is lost. Fuck everyone.
Yeah, why should I point out its flaws? Why should I do it? No, instead, we're going to talk about the guilty plea in the pervy public pickle packing. This is, of course, an incident from Florida. Well, I'm going to. Give me a hot minute. July 15th, 2021. A Florida man who found himself in a legal pickle, really, after cops spotted a pickle in him, has copped to indecent exposure.
Oh, we have a repeat of the pickle perv.
Yes,
okay.
I might not have been here for this episode.
You might not. Let me remind you and everyone else who doesn't remember. Eric DeTige, 47, was arrested in March by cops responding to a suspicious person in Oldsmar, a Tampa suburb. Officers found a pantsless Detij lying on his back in front of a townhouse that was not his home. As memorialized in an arrest affidavit, Detij, naked from the waist down, had his unit in one hand and a large uneaten pickle in the other. And of course, he was trying to use it to penetrate his rectum while masturbating.
A pickle?
Yes.
A pickle.
Like, okay, people, again, we don't care what you fucking do in your off time when you're in the, privacy of your own goddamn home. Don't do this shit in public!
Especially not in front of the old townhouse.
Yeah, I mean, but it's still, to me, it's like, really, a pickle? Dude, go to a local Spencer's. You can get a dildo for like $10.
Some people want to cheap out.
Or some people have a food fetish.
Yeah.
It's possible, yeah.
Either way, he was arrested for exposure of sexual organs, which is a misdemeanor, and he was booked into the Pinellas County Jail. He was released after posting $150 bond, but he was back behind bars a week later after getting arrested on a felony theft charge for stealing Red Bull and skinny jeans from a Walmart. Okay, I did not hear about this particular incident.
Wow, okay.
Red Bull and skinny jeans? What the fuck?
I can think of, like, better things to steal from a Walmart any day of the week.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess this guy was just really hankering, that caffeine rush, and he wanted his butt to look good in those skinny jeans.
Oh
Well,
God.
given the mugshot that I've provided my co-host here, he's
Oh, I'm sorry. I just looked at the picture.
yeah.
Um,
For those who are unable to see it, this man is looking into the camera with a kind of longing expression, very prideful. He's got a smile on his face, and I think his eyebrows are bleached.
no,
frosted.
they're
Or
it's not just that
frosted.
they're frosted; they're glittered as well.
Yeah, this
Um,
man is
This man is attempting to look fabulous.
Yeah.
this man is as gay as a tangerine
Let
in
me-
jean shorts.
Let me just say, no shame to those of the homosexual sexual orientation, of course. We're just pointing out this particular guy who was a little bit too proud, shall we say, if he is indeed, of the homosexual agenda.
Also, this is not what they mean by be gay, do crimes. This is not.
This is not
No.
what they
mean.
mean.
Of course
And
not.
for those, the new phrase is actually "be gay, do witchcraft." Thank you very much.
Ooh,
Hey, there we go.
that's a good one.
I want to amend that.
Oh.
Okay.
Do witchcraft if you know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, fair
Like, do
enough,
your
fair
research.
enough.
Like anything, do your research, because if you do it wrong, you don't know what the hell you're gonna summon.
Yeah, please. Anyway, during a late June court appearance, Detij pleaded no contest to the exposure charge and was sentenced to the time he had already served in the county jail, which was 92 days. He was ordered to pay fines, fees, and court costs totaling $550, a tab that remains outstanding at the time of this recording. Detij, whose address is listed in court records as the Flying Cloud Mobile. The Flying Cloud Mobile Home Park in Tampa. I was just like, the Flying Cloud Mobile.
Okay, I was about to say, it's like, wait, did they really accept that?
No, Trademark did a fucking goof. That's all. Yes, the Flying Cloud Mobile Home Park in Tampa. Detij has multiple convictions for both theft and trespassing, as well as convictions for disorderly conduct, resisting police, and criminal mischief. So this guy has a habit for troublemaking. This is just his most sexual outing.
Well, the one he got caught on.
Fair.
Oy vey.
Why? I'm glad that he at least has some common sense to say, yeah, I'm guilty. There's no way of getting out of this one. I mean, you guys saw me.
Court's post in there. Why does he look like that?
Court
Somebody-
awesome, the
somebody-
lovely.
somebody answer.
Because he thinks he's fucking
Court awesome, the lovely.
Somebody answer her saying, "If you have to ask, you don't want to know."
I love Court Awesome, the lovely artist behind our fucking banner art, just chiming in on the mugshot. Anyway, yeah, just what can I say but Floirda, man? That's the second time I've had to say that, but what else can I really say but Floirda, man? It's just,
You've said Florida man and but in the same sentence multiple times here, and there just is something wrong about that.
I can't help it. Floirda is the gift that keeps on giving, even though I don't want it to keep giving. Floirda, stop! Take a break!
What the fuck is wrong with Florida, man?
Ah, man. I don't know, but now we're gonna talk about a Florida woman who is racist. And also,
Oh, great.
Oh, this is not a surprise.
yeah,
Never heard this one before.
This is another sequel. This is the Racist Whopper Rager, who has been sentenced
Oh,
to.
God.
Yeah, you remember, Gray. You remember.
I know who we're talking about.
She's been sentenced to probation, according to this article. July 22nd. The Florida retiree who hurled a Whopper and racial slurs at a Burger King employee in a rage over the thickness of a tomato on her sandwich. I want that to sink in for everybody.
Yep.
The thickness of a tomato was what started this incident. I want that to sink in. Just wait for it.
This tomato's too thick!
And we move on. She's been sentenced to probation following a plea to battery. Judith Black, 78. 78.
Yep.
She entered a no contest plea to the misdemeanor charge during an appearance Tuesday in a county courthouse near her home in The Villages, the vast Florida retirement community.
No contest, my ass.
Black was sentenced to 12 months probation, fined $785, and ordered to attend anger management classes. Judge Paul Militello also barred Black from returning to the Burger King where the battery occurred and ordered her to have no contact with the worker she attacked. The septuagenarian...
Septuagenarian. That's 70-year-old.
Well, there's an A in the middle of that, so it says septuagenarian, so...
No, it's septuagenarian.
Yeah, it's septa.
Can we stop arguing about how do you pronounce it and just get on with it?
She was initially charged with an enhanced felony battery count due to her use of racist language during the April 30th Burger King incident. Prosecutors subsequently moved the remand to remand the case to a lower court for disposition as a misdemeanor. As recounted,
translated she paid somebody to get her to move the court case to a lower court so she wouldn't get racial charges.
Very possible. As recounted in an arrest affidavit, Black's 6 p.m. outburst stemmed from her dismay, quote, about the thickness of the tomato on her sandwich, end quote. Black, investigators reported, brought her complaint to the restaurant's front counter, where she, where she began yelling at Taprasia Brown. I apologize if I mispronounced that. She's a 23-year-old Burger King employee. Brown told cops that she advised Black that unless she calmed down, her tomato issue would not be addressed. When Brown turned her back, Black threw her Whopper, striking the worker below the neck. Black, who was with her husband, then told the worker, the thing that's quoted here is not terrible, but I'm still not going to do it. Basically, She told her to shut up and threw in a bunch of racial slurs. When police later questioned Black at her residence, she reportedly confessed to the ballistic behavior, saying that, quote, she was angry at that the victim was not fixing the issue. Cops
didn't give her a chance.
No.
You know what? Here's the thing. I bet you anything, because of the way mainstream media likes to report things and report certain things of people with a certain melanin count, that she didn't actually just go, oh yeah, I did that. But she didn't, fix the job as much as I wanted. I bet you anything it actually went like this, almost verbatim. Yeah, I threw that burger at her because she wouldn't do anything to fix my problem. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, and she also
I
did
will
admit.
say-
Yes, you first, Fanny.
I'll also add that as a person who has worked both in food and in food service and in other facets of customer service, yeah, Shirley's version of it is usually what it is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And normally,
because to these people, they didn't do anything wrong. You were the one at fault.
and on top of that, they most of the time they don't even want the problem fixed. They just don't want to pay money for it.
They don't want to pay money, or they want somebody to yell at. They want
Yeah.
somebody
Mhm.
to scapegoat.
Yeah.
And this is not acceptable.
They want stress relief. And here's the thing about slicing tomatoes as a person who works at a restaurant at the time of this recording. Most of the time, it's not a person cutting the tomato. Well, it is, but they have a machine. And this machine,
There is a machine. There is a machine in most commercial restaurants. Because remember, Trade, I too also had to do this.
Yes.
There is a machine.
Usually,
in
the
most...
type of machine designed to slice vegetables is known as a like an automated mandolin.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't get the automated one. Sometimes you get the manual one where it's just like a machine.
You have a tray. You have a tray, and then you have the thing that holds the tomato in place that you use to move the tomato back and forth until you get to a point where it's too small to be to continue slicing, lest you cut thine fingers.
Or you get the
Or
machine.
you're not paying attention, and then you cut your fingers.
Or you
That
get the machine that I get, which is a simple. It's a stand, and in the middle of the stand there are the blades, and there's this lever that you pull on, and when you bring the lever down, it brings in little bars that go through the space between the blades, and that pushes the vegetable, in this case a tomato, through the space, and it pushes it through the blades, and that slices it to usually 1/4 of an inch slices.
If the tomato is firm,
if it's firm,
and actually firm enough to go through, but not so firm that it doesn't cut at all. Straight. I used the exact same machine when I worked at.
And if the blades are clean. And if the blades are clean, because if the blades are not clean, all it will do is smush the tomato.
Oh yes.
If the tomato is overripe and too squishy, it will also smush.
Yes. I think we're in the weeds right now.
A little bit.
I think we're mowing some weeds.
The point of that entire tangent was that it's not a human that's in control. It's a machine. So
the machines have to cut them a certain amount. I can only cut them as much as the machine is made to cut them.
Yeah,
I mean, unless you're working in a mom and pop hole in the wall burger joint, greasy spoon burger joint, more than likely the tomatoes are going to be the same slice sizes every single fucking time because corporate has a set that they go by, a set measurement.
Yeah, like
exactly.
You have to cut a specific measurement. So if you're complaining that your tomato's too thick, then apparently everyone else's tomato is too thick. So I don't understand the issue, lady. You're getting the exact same size that everyone else is. Anyway, to get back to the article, after she admitted to all that ballistic behavior, Black also admitted to throwing all the racial slurs, which I will not repeat. Black's tomato tantrum was recorded by restaurant surveillance cameras. Black, who lives about 8 miles from the Burger King, is a Texas transplant who resides with her spouse in a home they purchased in November 2015 for $272,000. Brain, work with me, fuck's sake. $272,800. There. Fucking Christ. Don't know why my brain broke
article,
there.
Why is this relevant?
I have no idea. I think they just wanted to...
why is that relevant? What the fuck?
I have no idea. Sometimes my sources like to do that and throw in like little fucking trivia about these people when really the only thing we care about is how much of a shitbag they are. Again, no reason to flip out about this at all. No reason at all. You're getting the same amount of thickness as everyone else is at that Burger King. Unless their machine, for some reason, broke, which can happen with the particular machine I described, and it can happen with every other machine. Every machine gets gremlins.
I'm more irritated that she was able to sidestep the racial slurs.
Yeah,
I really am.
that
That's
is annoying. Like,
you shouldn't be able to do that. I mean, that's a direct consequences thing, and the fact that they can shuffle that to a different court and that changes. I suppose that also falls under like people changing courts to get traffic, major traffic violations taken care of too. But it's still there's a difference. I mean, there's a difference between somebody avoiding that 150-mile-per-hour ticket versus using a complete racial slur, which
Somebody
is not
not being
acceptable
charged
anywhere.
with yeah, which it's basically instead of like an assault charge that's also a hate crime, it's now
Right?
just an assault charge.
Correct. Oh, she didn't mean to use the words. Yeah, my butt. She didn't.
My
yeah,
ass.
just
She
fucking.
she is a Texas transplant, and I am quite firmly of the belief that that's part of the reason she used those words.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it's just like, I love that little fucking cherry on top of this shit sundae is that she has to attend anger management classes.
Well, that's just
Anger
standard issue for
management.
anyone who that's usually a standard issue requirement for anyone who has to go through.
Why are you here,
who
miss?
takes parole.
Why are you here, miss? 'Cause I'm white.
Yeah, most people who take probation or parole take a plea deal for that kind of stuff. One of the stipulations is that they have to take anger management courses, or depending on what the crime is, anger management courses, domestic violence courses,
here's the
substance
thing.
abuse therapy, blah blah blah.
What happens if they fail those courses?
Then they violate their probation.
Yep.
Okay.
Simple as that. If their probation officer, so what will actually happen, at least as far as the county I'm in Arizona, is if somebody takes a plea deal, they come in for sentencing. Well, first they got to do a change of plea. So, but say they've gone through all that, they take the plea offered by the state. If the judge is generous enough, which they usually are, unless the person has pissed off the judge in some fashion, which has happened. Seriously, the look of shock on some people's faces when the judge says, "I know the plea deal says this, but I'm going to ignore it. You're going to jail."
Yeah.
Because, sorry, folks, you can make a deal with the prosecution and the judge can still say no.
Sometimes the judge has a different
says,
morality.
okay, so you agree. So
anyway,
you make a deal with the prosecution. You go in for your change of plea, and the judge accepts, and you go in for your sentencing. So generally, if you get probation, no jail time, or time served, depending on what the crime is, there will be stipulations to your probation. That basically means, okay, there are certain things you have to do in order to complete before you can say your probation is done, besides just being law-abiding and not drinking for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a probation officer who is going to keep an eye on you, who you are supposed to report to, and again, depending on the crime, you'll either have to say, okay, I'm going to go give my UA, which is a urine sample to make sure you're not doing anything. Yep. I have to report to therapy, and the therapist has to sign off on it. I have to report to community service, and the person who's in charge of that has to sign off on it. So if you don't complete these courses, or if you walk out, or if you insult the counselor, they will report you to your probation officer, and the probation officer will report you to the judge. And then your happy little ass is hauled back into court, where you have to explain why you didn't do what you were told to do.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, moving on from that incident, we're moving on to our final article for tonight, and it's another Florida story, because again, Florida's the gift that keeps on giving, even though I want it to stop. It's not a sequel, it's a brand new event that happened. Oh man, here you go. Naked Florida woman 42 busted for skinny dipping in stranger's pool.
Okay. All right.
Why?
Well, let me find out why, and I'll tell you. Upon returning home from a doctor's appointment Monday afternoon, the week of July 21st, 2021, a Florida retiree discovered a naked woman skinny dipping in his pool. James Clark, 69, nice, told police that after spotting clothing that was not his, quote, in the lanai by the pool, whatever that is, he looked...
Lanai is a screened-in porch.
Oh. He looked around to find a naked white female in the pool. He then dialed 911. When cops arrived at Clark's Port Charlotte home, the woman, later identified as Heather Kennedy, 42, was still in the pool. She did not want to identify herself or explain why she was there. Kennedy...
Well, I think it was kind of obvious why she was there.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
I don't know.
Kennedy, deputies noted, was hostile and, quote, requested for law enforcement to leave her alone. Kennedy has been pictured lounging in Clark's pool as cops tried to coax her out of the water. And I do have that picture, and it is censored.
Of course it's censored.
Thank the maker. Let's see. Kennedy eventually exited the pool but struggled with officers as they sought to handcuff her. Charged with trespassing and resisting without violence, Kennedy was booked into the Charlotte County Jail on the misdemeanor counts. She is scheduled to be arraigned on August 4th. Court records list Kennedy's residence as a private home about 2 miles from where she was arrested. Apparently, she was convicted earlier this year on a felony narcotics possession charge and a misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia count. She was arrested following a traffic stop that yielded morphine pills, marijuana, crack, and meth pipes. Well,
Meth pipes.
oh, sorry.
This is weird because she doesn't look like she's a meth addict.
I can't see her teeth.
Well,
If I
She
could see her
doesn't have.
teeth,
She
I'd be
doesn't
able
have
to
the
know.
other underlying, like, you know.
No, she doesn't have the bag. She doesn't have the weird gauntness to the face.
She doesn't have the scraggly hair. Although she's got the Karen hair. She's very much a Karen.
yeah. I have to point out I misread that. That was and crack and meth pipes. So, it's a twofer. Kennedy denied ownership of the pills, claiming that they were the property of a male by the name... by the
Doesn't
name
make it
of...
any better.
No. Listen to this fucking brilliant fucking name of this mystery man. Let me repeat. Kennedy denied ownership of the pills, claiming that they were the property of a male by the name of Crackhead Chris.
Crackhead Chris! You don't want to invoke that name. He comes at your door and he leaves little crack bags.
This woman's a meth head.
Oh, this woman is high. This woman is high.
Who wants to put money on us coming back, like, maybe a few weeks later when we get, like, the sequel to this article, and surprise, surprise, she was high on meth when she did it.
She
I'm
was
not putting any money on
lying
that.
her ass off.
I'm not putting any money on that. Not
Well,
one
I mean, she was,
cent.
according to this, she, like, left the doctor's office and decided to go jump in a pool nude.
Oh, well, no. It was James Clark who had returned from the doctor's office. He came home to find Heather Kennedy in his pool.
I can just imagine being that poor man, 'cause it's just kind of like, ma'am, can I help you? No, I'm okay.
Yeah. I'm looking at the arrest
That's a weird
report.
town.
I'm looking at the
I had a
arrest
friend who
report
lived
right
there.
now. Attempting.
I'd
I'm
help
actually,
him.
I'm actually surprised she's only gotten charged with trespassing and non-violently resisting an officer. I'm surprised she's not getting, like, you know, indecent exposure.
Hmm.
Who knows?
Because she was nude on a private residence that was not her own.
Yeah. Again, I'm thinking that this might be a sequel, and we might hear a bit more about Heather Kennedy and see whether or not she was high and see if there are any more charges that get put on this case. Or She could fade into obscurity after this incident. I don't know. The
You know what
news
her,
is
her
weird.
picture looks like? Her picture looks like a bad protagonist picture from like a film where the person overcomes adversity. Okay, and this is how they
This
were
is the
found.
before.
This is the before picture.
Oh man. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this episode of the Trainwreck. What a way to come back after I contract the fucking virus, man.
Plague.
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 I will say, in spite of the absurdity and stupidity and rage-inducing articles, it's so good to be back. It's nice to have a little bit of fun for once. So that
We missed you.
so that's
And I love how the first episode of him coming back is just Florida man.
Florida man and Florida woman. I am home. These are my people, unfortunately.
No. See here, the reason we say Florida man is because it's like human, human, because human encompasses all of us. But Florida men, instead of
Hummings.
human, it's Florida men.
All you hummings.
Anywho, that is it for this episode of Trademark's Trainwreck. We are a show featured on Celestia Radio. I'll fan them all the time. Our banner art was created by Court Awesome, and our theme song was created by Marivex. You can get their social media, our social media, and the links to all of the articles that we've discussed in the YouTube video description below. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that garbage. With me here tonight,
coffee.
and
Buy me coffee.
And buy me a coffee if you would be so kind. With me here tonight has been Greymane.
I don't want to get my foot cut again tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a long story. We also have had Sherlock.
Yeah, it's no one likes to get their foot cut off.
And lastly, TheFangirl.
I will keep my feet, thank you.
So, with that, everyone, my name is Trademark, and good night.